Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's an honor to welcome you to the official grand opening of the North Hennepin Community College Center for Business and Technology. Some of you who have been involved in this project from the very beginning, you know who you are, know that this day has been a long time coming. So we're really excited to have you here today in this magnificent learning space. When I look out, although I left my glasses in my office, I see a lot of faces out there. It's kind of like a who's who of all the people who made today a reality. Whether you're a legislator who worked to make the funding available, or you're the employees who made the space clean and wonderful. Have you seen the floors? It's just a wonderful space to be in and to call a home. I just want to thank you. This is a time for us to come together to celebrate the new space. It's also a big time to say thank you to all those who made it happen. I mentioned that it's a long time coming. I'll give you a little hint of that. We started thinking about the building in the early part of the century. The most recent century, I was thinking. The design for the building renovation and expansion was approved in 2006. It was completed by BKV Group in 2008. The building was approved by the legislature as part of the 2010 capital investment bill, and construction started that summer. Our general contractor, Ebert Construction, completed construction in February of this year, and since then, as those of you who have been here know, there's been an unceasing flurry of activity to get the building ready for students, for faculty, for visitors, for us, and for the coming term. The need for additional space on our campus is intense. Over the last 10 years, we've grown something like 40%. Over the last handful of years, we've grown 23%. We have one of the highest space utilization rates in the entire MnSCU system. We currently serve over 11,000 students on our for-credit programming and nearly 2,000 students in our non-credit professional training and development. If you're not sure what that means, I would encourage you to come some morning and try parking in our parking lot. And then the parking lot empties out in the afternoon and refills again in the evening. We're serving the educational training needs of our neighborhoods. For students from the communities of Brooklyn Park, Maple Grove, Osseo, Minneapolis, Plymouth, Brooklyn Center, and all the other surrounding communities and cities in the Northwest Metro, North Hennepin is an important hub of learning and student success. Students in our growing service area rely on us to help them pursue their dreams and achieve their educational goals. The word community in North Hennepin Community College, I think you'll see reflected in this wonderful space. We have meeting rooms for people to meet in. We have these spacious walkways with wonderful seating areas, randomly located to encourage conversations and to make it clear that part of the community is talking together. We have this very, very grand hall, and we have my favorite, a coffee shop right next door. We all know that nothing builds community better than vast quantities of caffeine. So we're completely positioned. Beyond the much-needed classroom and office space, this center provides a place where the community and the college can physically come together. It was literally a week ago last Thursday that this space was full of tables when we hosted I think it's the second annual Brooklyn Park Cultural Awareness Activity. We featured speakers from all over the different cultures that make up the Brooklyn Park area. We had two of our students from the African and African American Student Association as part of that panel, talking about their experience. We had a panel of representatives from our neighborhoods talking about what it's like to be Hmong, Liberian, and Latino in the Brooklyn Park, in the city of Brooklyn Park. We're very, very proud to be a diverse campus. We're really the third most diverse campus in the MnSCU system. And so for us, this idea of coming together is more than just a rhetorical flourish. It's really fundamentally what North Hennepin Community College is all about. With this building project, we've renovated 35,000 square feet of existing space, and we've added on another 29,000 square feet of new space. It's a state-of-the-art facility with 13 additional smart classrooms, expanded computer and lab space, and the grand hall that we're in now. This hall will serve as a multi-purpose learning center as well as a community event and conference center. This building also represents a coming together of college priorities as well. For example, the center was built from an energy-efficient, sustainable design that will save the college energy funds, but it will also contribute to the college's sustainability plan for For those of you on campus, you know this week is Earth Week, and there's activities throughout the campus throughout the week to celebrate sustainability and connect it with our students' learning. In fact, I think at 11 o'clock this morning, I think it was the honors seminar met here to talk about sustainability as well in this very room. This building provides outstanding opportunities for continuing education and customized training services for business and industry. I think you heard a lot about that from Tom Stinson and Tom Gillespie's presentation when they talked about matching skills and jobs and the serious crisis ahead of us. We're the solution to that challenge. Through our professional training and development division, we provide opportunities for training and retraining in project management, regulatory affairs, strengths finders workshops, human resource management, entrepreneurship, IT, leadership, and much, much more. This building supports the college's existing academic programs as well in areas like accounting, business management, business computer systems and management, computer science, construction management, finance, marketing, and paralegal. This building also allows us to build on our existing bachelor's degrees, which we provide on campus in business administration, operations management, and construction management in partnership with Metropolitan State University and Minnesota State University, Moorhead. In short, this space provides a way to support our college mission. Our college mission, we have two versions. We have a long version, which isn't that long. We're all about creating opportunities for students to reach their academic goals, succeed in their chosen professions, and make a difference in the world. Recognizing the decay of attention spans, we have a short version, which is simply engaging students, changing lives. The one thing we know is that buildings themselves don't change lives. It's the people who work in them that change lives, and I'd like to take advantage of this public time really to thank publicly and acknowledge enthusiastically the faculty, the staff, who really bring their devotion, their hard work, their passion, and their high standards to make North Hennepin and our students successful. Now, you've been wondering when the very long thank you section is going to happen, and that would be now. None of this could happen without significant and persistent work from so many people. It's literally impossible to thank everybody. I'm going to foolishly try, and I'll apologize in advance for some of the people who I may have left out. The first very loud and very enthusiastic thank you goes to Ann Wernia, who's here with us today. As past president, you were inspirational, not just for this facility, but walk around the campus and you'll see the work you did, the work you promoted, and the success you had. This building is just the most recent realization of the legacy that you've left, and I want to thank you for everything you've done for the community. There have been so many legislators, elected officials, policymakers who've helped to make the building possible through their advocacy by providing funding. I wouldn't attempt to name them all. As some of you know, they're a little busy in the legislature these days. So we already received some letters from folks who couldn't be here, lending their support but apologizing. We like to think they're hard at work considering our new bioscience building bonding proposal. And feel free, should you run into any of these leaders, to mention to them our sincere hopes and expectations, but I digress. We would be remiss if we didn't remember that the leaders of our state are responsible for the stewardship of taxpayer dollars, and it's difficult decisions to be made. I think Tom Stinson and Tom Gillespie made a very compelling case for why these investments are more than just worthwhile, but I thank our legislators and policymakers who made this possible. I'd also like to acknowledge an absent friend, the late Senator Linda Scheid. She was a supporter of this project. She was an advocate of the college, and she was a champion of our students, and we're sad to not have her with us today. I'd like to recognize Dawn Reimer. Dawn is the former Chief Facilities and Finance Officer here at North Hennepin. Her vision and her operational expertise were central to the entire project. She worked with so many different people. I notice we have folks here, Brian Yolitz and Jeannie Qualley from the System Office, as well as Doug Knowlton, Vice Chancellor. We couldn't have done it without the help of our brothers and sisters in the System Office who helped to pave the way and make what could be very difficult much, much more of an easy adventure. There were some people we had to bring out of retirement to come back. This project started so long ago. There have been people who were here at the beginning. There are others who came in at the end. There's one person who is the glue that kept it all together, and that's Dean Collins. I'd like to take a minute to thank Dean. As the college's construction coordinator, he worked to bring internal stakeholders and external stakeholders together. That sounds so simple, but it's really, really hard. And I'd like to express my gratitude to Dean. Dean, in his Dean-like way, wanted to make sure that I wasn't remiss in thanking someone who helped him tremendously, and that's Deb Fugate as well. The BKV group is responsible for the wonderful building design, and I'd like to recognize and thank Tom Daskowitz, Mark Harris, Brad Severson, Joe Bohr, Jack Borman, Sata Chon from BKV, who are here with us today. From our general contractor, Ebert Construction, I'd like to recognize Brad Averill, Bruce Turnus, Bill Hance for the renovation and new construction work they led. Thank you to Randy Lutz from Construction Consulting Partnership for your guidance. Thank you to Cheryl O'Donnell from Visual Communications for designing the signage for the building. And finally, thank you to the folks at John Acaba Architectural, Henderson Furnishing, Roof Spec, and countless others who made today possible and made the building what it is today. I want to recognize and thank Chris Boyk and our entire academic and technology services team. They've worked tirelessly. We already saw Joseph Collins heroically coming to save the day at our keynote session. They're constantly troubleshooting. They managed to build the infrastructure here at the same time as they moved their entire IT operation to this area. So there's too many people in IT to name. If you see them, I hope you'll thank them. You'll be easy to recognize because they look really, really exhausted. Two more North Hennepin folks I want to single out for praise, and that's Larry Myers and the facility and maintenance team. They've been working behind the scenes to make everything look easy. Everything that's beautiful about the building will be beautiful in 10 years, and it will be thanks to their hard work throughout the years. Thank you to Renee Fry for your leadership on the project. You helped with classroom configuration, teaching technologies. You helped carpet decisions, cabinets. Actually, they gave me a really long list. I just mentioned a few. You've been instrumental in helping make decisions and help lead this progress to success. Thank you to everyone on the grand opening planning committee, the communications office, maintenance staff, Joseph, our presenters. Marita and Beth are here representing our customized training area as well, and I'll talk about those at any time anyone wants to talk afterwards about the opportunities we provide. I'd like to recognize Taher, student ambassadors, volunteers, Denise Dumas, and others. Thank you for your patience as I shuffle my pages. I'm going to go off script, which is very, very dangerous. I think it's important to give students the last word, and while we were milling around outside earlier today, I walked up to a student and I asked him, what do you think of the new space? And he kind of paused and he looked around and he looked up at that wonderful dramatic ceiling, and he said, this building makes me feel important. And I realized, that's it. That's what it's all about. The biggest insight ever is that what this building is trying to convey is to our students that you are important. If you remember, we serve a unique population. 2/3 of our students are low income. 2/3 of our students are first generation, which means that neither parent completed college. 93% of our students are underrepresented in higher education in Minnesota. So these are students who maybe don't know that they're college material, don't think they're going to be successful, and don't know that they have the potential to change the world. So the building provides a message, you're important. When I think of the building, I think we needed an impressive, soaring space to be worthy of the hopes and dreams of our students. And thanks to all your work, I think that's what we have today. It's my pleasure next to introduce to you Chancellor Stephen Rosenstone. I don't think there's a busier person right about now. It's an honor to have him here today. You all know he's the chief executive of the Minnesota State College and University System, the 5th largest higher ed system in the country. He took office in August of last year. and he brings to that role a distinguished career of service. He served as the Dean of Liberal Arts at the University of Minnesota. For those of you who don't know, that's the very large college between St. Paul College and NCTC. He holds degrees from Washington University and from University of California, Berkeley. He was a professor of political science at Yale University and the University of Michigan. And he comes to us at a time where we as a higher ed system in Minnesota are facing some of the most daunting challenges we've seen in decades. I'm happy to say he brings to this work an unrelenting belief in the transformational power of the work we do and a fierce commitment to innovation, which we need now more than ever. I'm also very happy to say he brings to the work a sense of humor and a sense of humility, which is wonderfully welcome. It's my personal and professional pleasure to welcome Stephen Rosenstone.
There's an adage in public speaking that one should never follow children or animal acts. I will now add, never follow John O'Brien. It's always a hard act to follow, but I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. This is a spectacularly happy occasion in what indeed has been a very busy week as we try to find our way to a happy ending to this legislative session. As John alluded, we have a number of projects across Minnesota which are all about the same things that this project is about, which is providing the learning and training spaces to enable our faculty to work the magic they do in serving our students, to ensure that they are prepared for the workforce that Minnesota needs, and to do it in a way that allows us to also partner with businesses and communities across the state to ensure the vitality of those communities and the vitality of those businesses and industries. So it's a pleasure to be here. When I started 8 months ago and 26 days, it was the first time in my life since I was 18 years old that I was not going to school or work on a college campus. And I was always nervous about falling out of touch with what's happening in really the vital colleges and universities across our system. And my wife suggested that maybe one of the things I should do is request from every college president an office on each of the college campuses so I could come and visit. And I have picked mine out. In this building, not some of the other ones. It's in this building. And yes, you do still have your office. But this is a spectacular facility, and I hope I'll have lots of opportunities to come and visit. I also want to thank our state economist, Tom Stinson, and our former state demographer, Tom Gillespie, who I saw as I walked in this afternoon. These are really remarkable people who have been providing us guidance as a state on how it is we think big and step back and think about our long-term future and understand the conspiracy that demographics and economics have in mapping some of the constraints we're going to face as a state going forward. And of course, what the central role of higher education is in helping us reach a pathway to prosperity for our state and what's going to still be some challenging years ahead of us. One can't help but think that there must be a joke somewhere out there about a demographer and economist go into a bar. I spent a good part of my very busy day Googling such a joke. I don't have the technology staff that President O'Brien has at his disposal, so I was not successful. But I did come up with, of course, some great economist joke. That's very easy. And great demographer jokes. They say that demographers are people who want to be accountants, but lack personality. And of course, the economists are a whole lot easier to go after, and they, of course, make up new jokes almost monthly for us. The difference between mathematics and economics, the answer is mathematics is incomprehensible, and economics just doesn't make any sense. In Tom Gillespie and Tom Stinson, we have stunning counterexamples to whatever jokes we might have about demographers and economists. These are people that help us make sense of what are really complicated phenomena, complicated trends, and complicated interactions among demography and economics, and they do it in an absolutely remarkable way, and they've been doing it together. The Tom and Tom Show, as it's called, has been a road show across Minnesota for several years now, and there is no greater clarity than the clarity they provide in helping us understand the challenges ahead of us. As John mentioned, this college is part of a larger system, a system of 31 colleges and universities that this year are serving over 420,000 students across the state of Minnesota. We are the 5th largest system of higher education in the nation, even though Minnesota is something like the 21st largest population state in the nation. And this college and its mission and the students it serves and the partnership that it establishes with this community and with businesses across this region exemplifies exactly what we are about and exactly what we are committed to. And opening a facility like this reminds us of what an exciting future we have and what a central role we play in the life of this community and the life of our state. Perhaps the adage that we also ought to turn to is good things are worth waiting for. Hardly a consolation as we think about the closing days of this legislative session. But I join John in thanking all of you who have participated in the advocacy, the design, the thinking, the building, the furnishing, the laying out of the technology, and the implementation of all that has to come together for a facility of this quality, stature, and importance to really come to fruition. It is a collaborative project between the community, our faculty, our colleges, the system office, and of course, the good, wise people in St. Paul, the legislature, and the governors in plural office who have made this project come to pass. I think this project also symbolizes the kind of commitment that this faculty and this college and this system is making to the people of Minnesota. And our commitments are very simple. Number one, the commitment to provide access to an absolutely extraordinary education for all Minnesotans. And this facility and the work that the faculty do and its commitment to serving all Minnesotans, not just those with the highest ATT scores, not just those with the highest incomes, but all Minnesotans will have access to this facility. And it epitomizes that first commitment that we make to all Minnesotans. Secondly, the facility also symbolizes very powerfully our commitment to be the partner of choice to meet Minnesota's workforce needs. And as everybody in this room surely knows, we have some stunning challenges ahead of us, not just the skills gap that we see today, but in the long run, 70% of all Minnesotans have to, by the year 2018, have some post-secondary education. 85% of all the new jobs in Minnesota require some post-secondary education, with half of those new jobs requiring not a baccalaureate degree, but the kind of education that's provided at this college and other colleges across Minnesota. How are we going to make good on that? We need the right kinds of faculty, providing the right kinds of skills, with the right kind of programs in the right places across our state. But it doesn't happen without facilities and technology like the kind that we've been able to provide together in this facility. And finally, we are committed, thirdly, to providing to taxpayers, to communities, to businesses, to families, and to students the highest value, most affordable higher education available in the state of Minnesota. And whether it's efficiencies in how we design and manage the utilities and energy use in our buildings, or whether it's how we work together across the system to deliver that education, or the ways in which faculty and staff figure out how to get the business processes to work in a way that keeps as many dollars on the academic side of the house as possible, it's all about that commitment. And this facility is a glorious representation of everything we are trying to do across the entire state of Minnesota. It's also, I think, testimony to partnership, not just the partnerships that John described that came together to make this facility a reality, but the kind of partnerships that I hope this facility will enable this college to provide in this community. To meet the workforce needs of Minnesota means that we first and foremost listen and understand what those workforce needs are. And this college is participating along with other colleges and universities across the state in a system of listening sessions in which we are sitting down region by region, sector by sector, to listen to the needs of business, not just their workforce skills gap needs today that we need to fill, but in the next 2 to 3, 4 years, where do we see that industry going? Where do you think there's going to be shortages of workers? What are the new skills you need to come online? And then our task is to figure out how it is our faculty lead the kind of change necessary to ensure that those workforce needs are being met, we get feedback from business and industry, and we deliver the kind of graduates which will be hitting the pavement, ready to go, not just with the skills they need for that first job, but the kind of more fundamental skills necessary for life and for growth and for creativity and innovation to allow them to grow in a career over the course of their lifetime. This facility will allow that to happen. We are committed to it happening. And the other aspect of partnership is to make sure that when businesses and industries and communities have particular problems that need to be solved, they turn to us. And our customized training programs, including those in this college, are the programs that are able to respond within 48 hours, get the meeting together within 72 hours, and within a couple weeks, have a customized program up and running on-site if necessary to meet the critical needs of business or critical needs of a community. And this facility will allow that to happen in ways that are even more glorious than the ways we've been able to do it in the past. Those are the commitments of our system. Our commitments are to the people of Minnesota, just as John described the commitments of this college and this region of the state. We're proud to be able to make those commitments. We are committed to fulfilling those commitments. And by working together with our partners in this community and our partners across the state and our partners who I hope are listening in St. Paul, we can deliver on these commitments to Minnesota. So it is an absolute joy to be part of this celebration. I hope there would have been some symbolic ribbon, because I did bring my scissors. It's coming. Fantastic. I have my scissors with me. And I hope this will be the first of many other happy occasions when we're together, both to learn, to partner, and to celebrate the successes of the students that will be able to enjoy this facility. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen, for your passion and your insights. It does make me a little nervous during a period of financial strain to have our Chancellor running around carrying scissors, but we'll hope that that was a symbolic statement. At this time, our formal proceedings and celebration is over. I encourage you to enjoy the space, to help yourself to enjoy a tour. There's tour guide stationed outside the main entrance, so I encourage you to stay around and mingle and network, and we will be beginning the stage of taking some photos. So we'll be calling up some groups of folks to come up, and we'll be doing multiple ribbon cuttings. So I hope you brought a lot of ribbon, and we'll get started now. So thank you all for coming.